Hello everyone. Welcome back to part 2. All right, looking at another example of an exponential function. In this particular case, I can obviously see since it's going up from left to right, it's going to be an exponential growth. And your domain is always, negative infinity to positive infinity. Now for my range, in case you forgot, the chair goes starting from the bottom to the top. That's where it starts and where it stops. As you can see, the bottom of my graph, which is that blue dotted line, my asymptote, is going through 1, is going to be at the asymptote y equals 1. And the top part of my graph goes all the way up to positive infinity. So my range is going to go from 1 to infinity. My x-intercept, well, looking at the x-axis, nothing crosses it, so I don't have an x-intercept. For my y-intercept, looking at the y-axis, I can see it crosses it over here at the point 5. So my y-intercept will be 0, 5. Now for my end behavior, looking on the left side, where my x is always approaching negative infinity, I can see that my arrow gets close to my asymptote. And my asymptote is at y equals 1. So my f of x will approach 1. Looking on the right side of my graph, where my x's are always going to be approaching positive infinity, I can see that my arrow is pointing up. So that means f of x is going to approach positive infinity. All right, let's look at another example of a logarithmic function. Remember, the domain goes from left to right. So on the far left of my graph, I have that asymptote at x equals 1 because it crosses the x-axis at 1. And on the right side of my graph, I have this arrow that's going to keep going all the way to positive infinity. So my domain goes from 1 to positive infinity. And remember, for logarithmic functions, your range is always negative infinity to positive infinity. Now for my x-intercept, looking on the x-axis, I can see it crosses it at this point right here. So my x-intercept is going to be 5, 0. Y-intercept, well, it never crosses the y-axis. So therefore, my y-intercept is going to be none. Now for my end behavior. As x approaches, well, on the left side is going to get closer and closer to my asymptote, which is at 1. So as x approaches 1, my y, looking at that arrow pointing down, is approaching negative infinity because it's pointing down. On the right side of my graph, as x approaches positive infinity, because these numbers are all positive on the right side, my f of x is going to keep going up and up and up to positive infinity. And that's it.